These days, AI is everywhere, so I guess it was only a matter of time before it came to your home theater. The Smart Ultra soundbar from Bose replaces the Smart Soundbar 900 as the brand's flagship 5.1.2 all-in-one Dolby Atmos soundbar solution. The new Smart Ultra bar has the same chassis as the 900, it has the same number of drivers, and I suspect the same power as the outgoing model. Bose is pretty tight-lipped about their product specs, making it very difficult to offer a concrete answer. Like the older 900, the new Smart Ultra bar has a single eARC-capable HDMI port along with a single optical audio input, for those of you with TVs that lack HDMI connectivity. As far as plug-and-play soundbars go, the Bose is up there with the SONOS Arc. The Ultra supports a wide variety of wireless connection options like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.0, which is an upgrade over the 900. There's AirPlay 2, Chromecast, Spotify Connect, and just a host of other music services that are accessible through the Bose Music app on both iOS and Android devices. There's also smart home features through Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa that allow for some measure of voice control. But the single most important feature of the new Smart Ultra soundbar has to be the presence of Bose AI Dialog mode, a sound profile that claims to use AI machine learning in conjunction with the bar's adaptive calibration and true space to deliver clear, intelligible dialogue no matter what you're watching or listening to. Now, as far as setup goes, it doesn't get much simpler than Bose. Everything you need, even the cables, they're included. We connected the Ultra to our Sony X95L using a single HDMI cable between the TV's eARC-enabled HDMI port and the soundbar itself. While this review is going to focus primarily on the bar's standalone performance, I am going to go over the Bose Bass Module 700 and Surround 700 speakers that you can add to the bar to round out your experience. And speaking of, both connect to the Smart Ultra bar wirelessly and can be controlled inside the Bose Music app. The Bose Music app, it's not new for 2023. I've actually been using it with our other Bose products for a few years now, so I'm pretty comfortable with its day-to-day operation, and I have to say, if you're weary of apps or just home theater devices in general, the app-soundbar relationship here is pretty straightforward. There aren't really any sound modes or, advanced settings with this particular bar. You get basic control over individual speaker levels, global bass and treble tone controls, and you can toggle your connected subwoofer or surround speakers on and off, but that's about it for adjustments. Streaming music from popular services like Amazon Music, for example, is easily done inside the app as well. Now, before you dive into any critical listening or movie watching, I do recommend running Bose Adaptive Room Correction Procedure in order to get the best spatial results in your room, not to mention the smoothest transition from the soundbar to the subwoofer. The process is quick, taking about, 3 minutes to complete, and involves wearing a headpiece of sorts atop your head while following the prompts inside the app. In 2023, the wearable tech feels kind of silly compared to what the competition is up to. Nevertheless, the results more than speak for themselves, so I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The new AI dialogue mode is on by default, and straight away, its presence is immediate and, depending on what you're watching, can be very beneficial. When viewing high-octane action movies like Gran Turismo or Top Gun Maverick, I don't believe actor dialogue, especially dialogue muffled inside a full-face helmet, has been this clear. What's weird is that it doesn't sound artificial or out of line with the rest of the mix. It's not as if Bose is turning everything else around the dialogue stems down in order to enhance the dialogue's presence or create this clearer dialogue effect. Now, you still get all of the grandness and spaciousness of the old Bose 900, only the dialogue, it's just easier to understand. Plus, and this was arguably more impressive for me, for such a slim bar, the dialogue was never confined to the bar. It always appeared to come directly from the screen, which in our room was anywhere from 12 to 18 inches above, depending on where the actor or actress was located. Even when listening to music, artist vocals always hovered above the bar rather than coming from the bar itself. As sold as I am on Bose new AI dialogue tech, there were a couple of instances where I felt it was distracting. For example, when watching sports broadcasts, because even the best ones are typically ultra-compressed signals both visually and sonically, in these instances, the AI didn't quite know what to do with all of the crowd noise, never settling on what was more important to adjust, the crowd or the commentators. As a result, the sound often became a little bit more sibilant, phasey, and distorted. In these instances, you can turn the AI dialogue mode off inside the app and return things to normal. Just know that as good as the AI function is, it doesn't appear to be a one-size-fits-all solution. Still, even with the AI off, this is an exceptionally intelligible soundbar. Dialogue clarity may be the biggest initial reason to buy this bar, but rest assured, it's not the only one. Let's focus on just the bar. This tiny thing sounds huge. It's more than capable of throwing a floor-to-ceiling soundstage with uncanny levels of depth, while also projecting surround sound elements forward and overhead, all of the way to our listening position, roughly 11 feet away. Now, I do have to point out that while the sheer spaciousness of this bar is impressive, the focus and detail of the sounds are strongest towards the center. So as sound travels, further out to the side or overhead, basically away from the bar, the level of nuance does diminish. When it comes to front of stage detail and definition, edge to edge, top to bottom, even at their physical extremes, the Samsung Q990C and Sonos Arc do a better job, but they're both physically larger and cost more, so they should. The Bose Smart Ultra gives me serious AMBEO vibes because I don't think I've heard a more convincing surround experience from a single bar since our time with the AMBEO. Tonally, this bar is really good. Maybe not neutral, but far from possessing bloated bass or worse, shrill and fatiguing highs. I think in a bedroom or say small apartment, you could get by with just the bar, but in a larger room like ours, I don't consider that bass module 700 to be optional. Its presence definitely opened things up, and it grounded both bass-rich music from, say, the likes of Running Touch, not to mention movies such as Top Gun. That said, at extremely high levels, in excess of 95 dB in room, I was able to get the sub to bottom out when watching A Quiet Place 2. So jet engines, rocket fire, no problem for the sub, but the alien growl, that was too much. Bose offers surrounds for the Smart Ultra. The micro-sized surrounds seem super cool at first. I mean, they're about the size of the new iPhone, but like many pint-sized devices, they rely on a very large outboard power brick that is bigger than the speakers themselves. This turns the speaker's minimal appearance into an absolute monkey's breakfast. Never mind the fact that they don't have any overhead drivers, so when sound traveled front to back and overhead, it always dropped to ear height as it neared the rear speakers, which isn't ideal. As of right now, it is the best that Bose has to offer, but the 700s are outclassed by just about everything on the market right now. But all that said, I still prefer having the optional sub and surrounds with this new bar, as they do elevate the overall experience, but you are paying a premium for them and not getting something that is class leading. And that's something to consider when cross-shopping other systems, which is the perfect segue to our next topic, comparisons. Coming in at the same price as the Bose, the Sonos Arc is the better and more full-range bar. That said, while the Arc may have some more hi-fi cred, it doesn't create the same vast dome of sound the way the Bose does. The Arc is more focused, it's more detailed, and it offers more of that kind of traditional hi-fi speaker experience. Nevertheless, the Bose gave the Arc a run for its money when it came to spatial audio. As for intelligibility, out of the box, both Kristi and I felt Dialog was clearer through the Bose, so do keep that in mind if you value Dialog intelligibility over everything else. All that said, when fully kitted out with a Sonos sub and two Era 300s, this is not a contest. Sonos wins. Similar to the Bose, Samsung's new Q990C, it didn't get much of a physical update over its predecessor, the 990B, but the changes in tuning and software, well, they made the C sound like an all-new product. When it comes to soundbars and home theater value, the Samsung is king. The 990C is a spatial powerhouse. It uses way more drivers and has a larger physical presence, and all of those things pay dividends. Throw in Samsung's included sub and Atmos-enabled surrounds, and the Samsung, like the Sonos, it just outclasses the Bose. As for whether or not you should upgrade your Bose 900 to the new Smart Ultra soundbar, that's going to hinge on whether or not you're happy with the 900's Dialog performance. If you are, stick with it, because everything else appears to be just more or less the same with the Smart Ultra. While I don't particularly like the idea of AI infiltrating every aspect of our daily lives, I'd rather see it put to good use in a product like the Smart Ultra soundbar than, see it used to replace artists and creators' hard work altogether. Philosophical debates aside, the Bose Smart Ultra soundbar, it is impressive and ranks among the better all-in-one soundbar solutions available. If you love a big, broad, spacious sound that arguably has the best dialogue clarity in the soundbar game, the Bose Smart Ultra should be on your list. So that's enough out of me and what I think of Bose's brand new flagship soundbar, but before we get out of here, what'd you think?
It is enough out of you.
You're saving that one.
I'm kidding. I really like this bar.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So guys, last night we started watching this new Netflix show. I sort of forced Andrew to watch it because he's not a horror fan.
Yeah.
I think it's called The
Fall of the House of Usher.
Yes.
Yeah.
That. And this bar sounded huge.
Yeah.
I'm serious. The small size is so deceiving. Dialogue intelligibility, which is really important for me.
Yeah.
It's no joke. It made a huge difference. And honestly, I don't even mind the AI dialogue enhancements or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
For sports.
Okay.
Look, just get.
This is your turn.
Remember, we had enough out of you. Anyway, I agree with you that sports broadcasts in general, the signals they're garbage.
Yeah.
But to me, anything that helps me understand the ref's call on the field, I consider that a welcome experience. I'm not saying that you're wrong as far as like what it was doing or how it couldn't figure out what to focus on.
Yeah.
Just to me, it didn't bother me enough
to
get me to want to turn it off.
Okay.
I thought it sounded demonstrably better as far as clarity goes.
Yeah.
When the AI was on.
Yeah, I mean, it was clearer. I'm not going to deny that. It was definitely clearer. For me, that added boost in sibilance with sports broadcasting just caused me to have to go into the app, grab the treble tone control, and just take it down a notch. And once I did that, that cured the sibilance. It didn't really completely do away with like the little bit of phasiness to it. But after a while, my brain sort of adjusted to it, and I was fine.
I don't think the entire time we've had this in our house, I don't think I've turned to you once and said, "What did they say?"
No. Can I point one thing out, because I don't know if it was perfectly clear. You mentioned earlier, like with House of Usher, this sounds absolutely massive for such a small bar, and that's true. Like, it throws sound. When I said in the review corner to corner, I meant it. The one thing about the Bose that I give it credit for, but that I think make the ARC and the 990C a little bit better, is sometimes I feel like Bose kind of pushes sound out to the sides and the boundaries to be really impressive, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that is correct. Super impressive, but also kind of like a wow distraction, where you're kind of like, damn, it's all the way up there. But then you kind of look at what's unfolding on screen going, yeah, but there's not anything on the screen up there that is signaling that sound cue.
I hear what you're saying. That didn't bother me, but
Okay.
I also don't think that, I don't think I pick stuff apart the way you do.
Yeah.
I
think people are going to be more...
Ignorance is bliss, I suppose.
And that's what I was going to say. I think people are going to be more impressed than distracted. But as someone who has spent time in sound, mixes and things like that, like, I'm just really kind of like, well, what's motivating this sound?
And that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
It totally makes sense. And I'm sure if I said, okay, we'll rewind it, and then now that you've said something, let me really focus in, and
yeah, I can ruin it for you.
Yeah, you can. You're exceptional at ruining stuff for me. I mean, guys.
Yeah.
And girls,
Yeah.
like, I
Don't
can't
watch a
enjoy
movie with me.
anything because he already knows exactly how it's going to end within the first, say, 3 to 4 minutes, and I'm like, could you just keep that to yourself? Because I am not the one. I'm not the type that tries to anticipate every little thing. I'm just sitting down. I want to turn my brain off, and I want to enjoy whatever it is on the television.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Well, did you know?"
Just like that, too.
Yeah.
Just like that. All right.
I'm just like, please be quiet. Anyway, I know that you said you liked. And just for me, I just want to be clear. I think the sub really does benefit
100% not optional.
Experience.
Yeah.
Now, if you're really in a very small bedroom or this isn't a small apartment, I personally would buy the bar by itself first.
Yep.
Give it a go, live with it for a few nights, and then if you feel like it's missing something, then go pick up the sub. That way you're not spending money needlessly.
Absolutely.
But as far as the surrounds go, I would skip them. Well, I think that we can move on to a few comparisons that I have a feeling people are going to be, commenting for.
All right.
First up is the JBL 1300X.
Yeah, that was a really cool system. It's probably a little bit better value. I don't think it's made as well as the Bose. Its app functionality definitely is not as elegant. And it is a larger bar. It is a more physical presence. The nice thing about this Smart Ultra is it's very unassuming. In terms of just space-filling sound, like in our room, the JBL is going to give you that more raw cinema punch, but it's not as nuanced as the Bose. And dialogue clarity, Bose all the way.
You mentioned the AMBEO in the review, and so people are going to want to know more. Yeah. But if you want to speak to our last experience with the, not Bose, but the
AMBEO original.
The original. Yeah. Original Coke.
And as I understand it, AMBEO Max is still the same exact bar as what we experienced. It just has some software updates. They didn't actually do anything different to the drivers, the amps, or anything. So keep that in mind. The old AMBEO, original Coke, obviously in a room like ours being bigger, it's going to be a better fit than the Bose. It's probably going to take everything that the Bose can do and just elevate it. The AMBEO's room correction procedure is a little bit more straightforward. You don't feel as silly doing it. But the results, much like the Bose, are very night and day, and it does matter, so you should run it. And the AMBEO has multiple HDMI inputs, so if you wanted to have other sources more easily connected to the bar than having to run multiple cables to your television, that is going to be maybe more convenient, more convenient that way. The Bose is very much an extension of the television. It relies on the TV to do video switching. I would say that obviously the AMBEO is better. It's a bigger, bolder sound. But I would say that the Bose is probably as impressive, but in different ways, just because it's so small and yet it creates that almost 360-degree dome of sound by itself. AMBEO does a better job, but the Bose is like right there.
So you mentioned briefly about the 600 that we have in our bedroom.
Yeah. The smaller one that we use in our bedroom is perfect as far as I'm concerned. It's perfect for a bedroom system. And as much as I love the new Smart Ultra 900, I don't think I would put this bar in our bedroom. Would it work in there? Absolutely it would. And it would be amazing.
Oh, dude, I would.
It would be amazing. But I also really think that the smaller one does a great job, and it's even more unassuming. So it really comes down to, how much gear do you want in a bedroom?
I'm going to have to disagree with you.
Okay, that's fine.
I was actually thinking how I would like to move this to the bedroom.
And retire the smaller one?
And I just want to give it a try for the dialogue clarity aspect.
Yeah.
Because especially at night.
Yeah, at lower levels, it's great.
It'll be easier because you fall asleep so quickly.
Yeah.
And that way I don't have to have the volume up too high. I don't have to worry about you waking you up. So I think it could be a great solution.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be a great solution. I'm just saying I'm very happy with the smaller one. That's all I'm saying.
No,
I'm really happy with the smaller one, and I just hate, we have so much gear in our lives anyway, like out in our living room and in our kitchen and everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's really nice that our bedroom has kind of remained sort of a gear-free zone. We've had the same OLED TV for better part of the year now. We've had the same soundbar set up for the better part of a year now. And I just love that at night when I go to bed, it's not a tech fest. That's the only reason why. Not to say that this new one, the Smart Ultra, wouldn't be more of the same. I would just be a little bit more aware of its presence because it is just physically larger. All right, that's it. That's our review of Bose brand new flagship soundbar with AI voice processing. Question of the day: how do you feel about AI coming to home theater, and where do you think it could take things in the future, good and bad? Should be an interesting discussion. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe. Go ahead and ring that bell so that you're notified when new videos come out. If you use any of the links that Kristi's left for you down below, know that that's a great way that you've continued to show your support for this channel and the work that both of us do here. And both of us thank you very much for doing that. Follow me on Instagram, Recovering Audiophile, and that's it for us today. So remember, the only person who has to like the sound of your system is you. So happy listening, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next Sunday with a brand new video.